Welcome to Elevate English. Elevate your English. Elevate your life. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe to the Elevate English channel. Let's start our story. The Garden of Secrets. In the heart of a bustling city stood a small, hidden oasis. Tucked between two large buildings, it was a secret garden, a place few people knew about. Overgrown with ivy and filled with flowers of every color, it felt like another world, peaceful, calm, and timeless. This was where Sarah loved to go when the weight of city life became too much, to escape into the quiet and solitude, and to think. Sarah moved to the city a year ago, leaving her small hometown in the countryside for a fresh start. It had been a leap of faith, moving away from everything she had ever known, leaving behind the familiar streets, her family, and the friends she had grown up with. In the city, she was just another face in the crowd. The noise, the pace, and the constant movement made her feel like she was lost. But the garden, with its secluded paths and quiet corners, had become her sanctuary. Every afternoon after work, she would visit the garden, sit on the worn stone bench beneath a large, ancient oak tree, and read or write in her journal. It was her way of grounding herself after a long day of work in the corporate world, a place where she could find peace and reconnect with herself. One sunny afternoon, Sarah arrived at the garden to find someone already there. A man sitting on the other side of the oak tree, sketching in a notebook. She had never seen him before. He was tall, with dark hair that fell in waves around his face, and his posture was relaxed, as if he belonged there. She hesitated for a moment, not wanting to disturb him, but there was something about him, something familiar. The man looked up from his sketchbook and caught her eye. There was a brief moment of surprise in his expression, but it quickly melted into a warm smile. "I didn't expect anyone else to be here," he said, his voice soft and inviting. Sarah smiled back, feeling a little embarrassed for intruding. "Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you." "No disturbance at all," he replied, standing up. "I'm Daniel. I come here almost every afternoon to sketch. This place has a certain magic about it, don't you think?" "I'm Sarah," she said, stepping closer. "I come here too, whenever I need to get away from everything. It's the only place in the city where I can find peace." Daniel nodded, as if he understood completely. "It's easy to get lost in the chaos of the city," he said, tucking his sketchbook under his arm. "But places like this remind you that there's still beauty in the world." There was a long pause, and Sarah felt a strange connection to him, as if their shared love for this hidden sanctuary had created an instant bond. She had always been a bit shy, especially around new people, but there was something about Daniel that made her feel at ease. "Do you come here often?" she asked, unsure of how to keep the conversation going. "Almost every day," he said with a smile. "I work from home, so I take a break in the afternoon and come here to clear my head. And to sketch, of course." "What do you sketch?" Sarah asked, intrigued. Daniel looked down at his sketchbook and then back at her. "I draw what I see. The people, the plants, the light, the little moments that make this place feel alive. I like to capture the world as it is in its simplest form." Sarah was captivated. She had always admired artists, but she never had the talent herself. She loved the idea of capturing fleeting moments in time, preserving the beauty of the world in a drawing or painting. She had always wanted to learn how to paint, but never had the time. "That sounds amazing," she said, a little wistfully. "I've always wanted to learn how to paint. But life never seems to slow down enough to do something like that." "You could always start," Daniel said, his voice gentle. It's never too late. They spoke for a while longer, sharing stories about their lives and their love for the garden. Sarah learned that Daniel was an architect, but his true passion was art. He had moved to the city a few years ago, just like her, looking for a new beginning. He told her about his favorite places in the city, hidden corners, quiet cafes, and parks that most people never noticed. They found they had a lot in common, both yearning for a sense of connection in a city that often felt impersonal. After that first meeting, Sarah found herself coming to the garden more often. Daniel was always there, sketching or reading, and they would talk whenever their paths crossed. Slowly, their conversations deepened. They began sharing more about their lives, their hopes, and their dreams. Sarah learned that Daniel had been married once, but his wife had passed away a few years ago. It had been a painful chapter in his life, but he had found solace in his art and in the quiet moments he spent in the garden. As the weeks went by, their friendship grew. Daniel invited Sarah to his apartment one evening to see his sketches, and Sarah found herself fascinated by the way he captured the world on paper. He had a special talent, an ability to bring ordinary things to life, to make them seem extraordinary. He made Sarah look at the world in a new way, to see the beauty in the smallest of details. One afternoon, as they sat together beneath the oak tree, Sarah couldn't help but feel something more than friendship blossoming between them. It was subtle at first, a glance that lingered a little longer than usual, a shared smile that held a deeper meaning. But it was there, undeniable, a connection that went beyond words. "Sarah," Daniel said one day, his voice hesitant, "I've been thinking about something." "What's that?" she asked, turning toward him. "I know we've only known each other for a short time, but I feel like there's something here, something worth exploring." He looked at her with a vulnerability in his eyes that took her by surprise. "I don't want to rush anything, but I'd like to see where this goes. If you feel the same way." Sarah's heart raced. She had never expected this, but now that it was out in the open, she realized she had been feeling the same thing. Her quiet, solitary life in the city had been filled with uncertainty, but meeting Daniel had brought a sense of clarity. He made her feel alive in a way she hadn't felt in years. "I think I feel the same way," she said softly, her voice barely above a whisper. Daniel's face lit up, and without thinking, he reached out to take her hand. "Then let's take it one step at a time," he said. From that moment on, everything changed. Their friendship deepened, blossoming into something more. They spent their afternoons together in the garden, talking, laughing, and sharing quiet moments. As the weeks turned into months, their connection grew stronger. They learned more about each other's lives, their fears, and their dreams. One evening, as they walked through the garden, Daniel stopped and turned to face Sarah. The setting sun painted the sky with hues of orange and pink, casting a warm glow over the flowers and the trees. "Sarah," he said softly, "this garden has always been a place of peace for me. But now, with you, it feels even more special. I want to spend more moments like this with you, here, and wherever life takes us." Tears welled up in Sarah's eyes as she realized how much he meant to her. She had found something beautiful, something unexpected, in the quiet corners of the city, a love that was as delicate and enduring as the flowers in the garden. "I'd like that," as she said, her voice full of emotion. "I'd like that very much." And so, beneath the willow tree, their love story began, rooted in the quiet beauty of the garden and nurtured by the deep connection they shared. In the Garden of Secrets, they had found each other, and in each other, they had found a love that would grow and flourish for years to come. The end.